Hello! I have a printmaking day today. I thought I would film it because I thought it would be fun. And why not complicate my printmaking days even further by adding film equipment. Have some paper, although I will need to cut more today. So, the plan for today is as follows. I have to finish a lot of series of prints. I have to do a bunch of black ones, a bunch of pink ones, red ones. Then I have to print some of these new ones that are gonna come out in about a month, maybe 2 months, which are the circus ones. So these two, can't see them very well, and I have to do as many as I can of these, really, because the edition is out of 50. And then at the very end, if I have time, I want to do more colourful ones, like maybe some blue and green, because I haven't done blue and green, and a yellow one, and I want to do a multicoloured one, but we'll see. That's already too much that I've put on my plate, but we'll see how I move and plan everything, and maybe I have time to do it all. Hi, this is me showing you how I wet my papers. So every paper before you start using it and printing on it has to be wet, because I use water-based inks. That's just to make sure that all the ink will completely show up on the print. So I've just got a water tray, and I just dunk the papers in each paper. I just dunk it in and then instantly just take it out like this, and then I throw it straight onto on paper towels. So I do that for all of them. I also want to say that another reason for wetting the paper is due to different paper types. So some types of printing papers are thicker than others, and when they're a lot thicker, they just perform better, and the ink shows up better when they're wet. And this could sometimes even be just disregarding whether you use water-based inks or oil-based ink. So now I have the paper, and I take clean paper towels. They really have to be really clean, and I just wipe them down really well. The way I do this, and because of these paper towels that I use, they form a pattern, they form a water pattern on the paper. When I dry them, it leaves like some spots that are not completely dry. So this, I like this very much, because I used to use, well, some people use newspapers, and I used newspapers for a while, but they really, like, sometimes they ruin my page, because if it's already wet and you rub the newspapers on it, some of the ink of the newspapers will get onto the paper, and it's really annoying. So then I started using paper towels, and yeah, they form these watermarks, and I fell in love with them, because some of my smaller prints, like when you do prints like this that are small, like this size, the design has to be very graphic, and sometimes, like, they're just not as detailed as a larger print. You can't see very well, but you'll see when I make them. And sometimes they have a lot of white space, and they might be quite boring with all that white space. So I really love the watermarks, because they make each print very unique. So what I do now is I start printing. I'm saving this one for pink and red, and maybe other colors later on, and this one for black. And I'm starting with some black prints. I'm doing black prints that are only going to be black and not other colors. I'll start with a lighter color first, and then I'll go to black if I need to do some black ones of them. Here we go. So I first use this tray to kind of spread the ink around. My setup is really tiny. I start inking the plates. I read somewhere recently that inking is in itself an art. And I believe that, because it's quite difficult to do right. And everything depends on how well you've inked your plates. Oh, I love the sound. Try and get closer so you can hear. Is that a fetish? Is that an artist fetish? You're looking for this. Well, you're looking for the sound. This is the exactly right sound, and you want the ink to look uniform. So when you keep going over it, you want to see these patterns form like in a very uniform way. Basically, like these two down here. I've now got them to a perfect stage, because like when I go like that, it's just the perfect amount of waves that you see forming, and you can tell that the ink is uniform on it as well, because they're the same everywhere. So that's really exciting that I got that right. Inking, as you can see, is a whole adventure. So let's see the reveal of one of them. So now I take one of them. Let's do the most exciting one. This is really exciting. And boom. Because they're so small, I kind of eyeball it, like where it should go. Traditionally, prints like have to go a bit up on the paper, so there's more space here than there is here. At the moment, I don't have access to a printing press. I will be getting one in about a month or two, which is incredibly exciting. I'm quite lucky in that I can do these smaller linocut prints. They don't really need a printing press. You can do them without a printing press. And I've been doing them without one. And they turn out very nicely. It does mean that I can't do other prints. I can't really do etchings. And even for the very large linocut, I'm gonna have to wait for a printing press. And monotypes aren't very good either, which breaks my heart because I love doing monotype prints. But in about a month I'll be able to do so. Till then, these smaller prints are quite fun to do by yourself. So you're gonna see how it's a bit confusing, but for some reason this is how I found like the right amount of pressure everywhere on the print. So this is how I do it. So it might seem a bit weird, but like I've tried everything. I've done it with books and whatever, but for some reason this is still the best way for me. Yeah, let's go for it. So I basically just punch the plate in absolutely every single place. I'm doing it a bit slower now so that you can follow this along. So I just punch it everywhere, in every single spot, and then I also press it like that, like every step of the way. I just give it 2 more presses just for good luck and measure, make sure I got every inch. And now the reveal. This is exciting. Let's see what I've done. Ooh, I was lucky because you were watching me. This is a really good one. Oh, I'm really happy. The next thing I do with absolutely every single one of my prints, right after they're printed, I just go over them in the places that I don't like that much, or if there's anything that I need to go over and cover, this is the time to do so. The prints form those watermarks that I love so much, but because I do that, I kind of can't just like let them run wild. I have to contain them and decide where I want. So I fast forwarded this bit really quickly just because I was just kind of deciding what I want to keep and what I don't want to keep, and I was just kind of talking to myself. It's a very fickle balance doing this, because like I really have to be careful not to ruin it, not to do too much and then like my hand moves or I ruin it, or I ruin it aesthetically, or I think that's nice. I think that's fine. I think that's really nice. Let's do more. Let's do all of them. These printmaking days, my house just turns into, just is covered in prints by the end of it. I love it when I do like a whole bunch of prints and then the whole house is covered in them. So let's get there. This is a perfect example of my prints. Because of the watermarks, this pattern formed. And so what I was saying earlier, that I have to like decide where I want this pattern, because I don't want the whole print to look like that. Like I said, I instantly just work every print just as I take it off, and then I just have to look at it and just decide where I want this pattern to be. I may make her uniform. I'll just make her completely black. Real nice. The last one that I had prepared right now. Hey! I love it! This is a difficult print. This is a print that gave me a lot of grief. I don't know why it wouldn't come out last time I did it, for the longest time, but now it has, and that makes me very happy. Let's see what we want to do to this one. Really great. I really love it. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna carry on printing all day. You're gonna follow me along, and I'm probably gonna speed through this. So I'm just gonna make a bunch of prints. Like I said, these are water-based inks. Sometimes they dry up, and if you put some water, they become fluid again. And this one dries up quite quickly, so then normally I just put some water in and then I wait for it to dry a bit more to where it gets to the consistency that I need. And yeah, that's what you missed. That's what I did just then. I'm just gonna show you a closer look. So I've picked up the camera myself, and I'm gonna do some prints, and then I'm just gonna do a bunch of reveals. This is what my station looks like right now. Yeah, and I'm gonna show you a bunch of reveals. It's very difficult to do this with just one hand. That's a nice layer. Beautiful. And then just this one down here. Let's see what it shall be. Interesting. See, sometimes these happen. It's because I'm playing with fire, because I'm encouraging these mistakes. So then sometimes the mistakes are just like, they're just too bad. And this is a good example of that. It just, you can't really see the figure as well as I'd like. So let's see if we can fix it. So normally I like the watermarks like these, and I don't like the ones like these. The easiest thing to do, and what I would normally do, is just cover all this area in black, because that would look good, and then you just have this bit here. I don't think I've mentioned this yet, but I also, like, you see me doing all these prints. Half of them or a third of them actually make it, so I quite like it now, but I might eliminate it later. Because I inspect them all later, like properly before I sign them, and I decide if I actually like them or not, but it's not that bad. Let's see. This one's called We Are Free, because they're not really. Maybe I'll now try to show you a closer look. Give you a closer look at how I dunk these. So I just go like that. Doop, 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 doop. In the tray. And then, whoop. And I just really quickly just set it on there. And this one's also ready. And then, like I said, I just wet these down with this type of cloth, which leaves the watermarks that I talked about earlier. And let's see what happens. So, for this, I am gonna need both hands. Ooh! Oh, I really like it. I love it. Oh my god, this is so rare. This one rarely comes out right. I'm too excited. I just think it's so beautiful. So all I did in the rest of the printmaking day, which you're seeing right now in very sped up clips, is that I printed a bunch more paper. No, I cut up a bunch more paper. And I just carried on printing. And I carried on printing. And I made a lot of prints. I think I mentioned before in the video that not all of them make it. But this was a very good printmaking day. I think more than half of them made it, which is crazy. I think maybe like 2/3 of them or something made it. Normally it's less than half. And I think it was just lucky because I had people watching, where it's not really people, but I filmed myself. And this is, at the very end, what my house normally looks like. So I'll insert some nice photographs of what my house ends up looking like on a printmaking day. Which, on the one hand, I really love seeing, because I love seeing all the prints all together, and I think it makes for very good pictures. On the other hand, it's a bit embarrassing. And hard to walk around. But yeah, a lot of people have drawing racks, and I think a good idea I've seen someone is, because I don't have a studio at the moment. I've seen someone do sort of lines across their apartment and hang them up close to the ceiling, and I actually might do that sometimes. But until then, you can see them all together like this, which is really nice. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this printmaking day vlog type thing. I don't vlog, but this, yeah, video of me doing my printmaking, and I'm looking forward to doing more in the future. I'll do more, I think, also of you watching me cut into my lineup cuts, because I think that's going to be interesting as well, rather than just me printing them. But yeah, thanks for watching.